The season premiere of Sons of Anarchy is over, but we're just getting started here on Sons of Anarchy Live on post-show recaps. And now, here are the two guys who would never, ever rub salt in any of your wounds. I'm Rob Cesternino. Here's Josh Wigler. Josh, how are you doing? Happy premiere night. Final ride.
Happy premiere night. Happy final ride to you, Rob.
Oh, my God.
How does your head feel right now?
Oh, my God. That poor guy. Poor guy.
Can you believe that now 2 episodes of Sons of Anarchy in a row have ended with forks to the head?
Wow.
That's maybe a little extreme. Maybe one fork to the head too many.
All right. Well, we are going to start to unpack everything that happened in the Sons of Anarchy final season premiere here live. We are right after the episode has just ended. We're live here on premiere night, Tuesday, September 9th. Hopefully, you guys can join us live in the future. We will be live every Tuesday night all the way from now until the finale of Sons of Anarchy here on the final ride. Of course, if you're listening to us after the fact, whether you're on YouTube or in our audio podcast, you could subscribe to the audio podcast of Sons of Anarchy here for the final 13 episodes. That you can get that at postshowrecaps.com/Sons iTunes. Sons, S-O-N-S, iTunes. Okay? So we are all set and ready to go. And Josh, I'm very pumped up to know that you are such a big fan of the Sons of Anarchy.
I really enjoyed our chat ahead of the season premiere. Like I said during our preview, Rob, I didn't want to talk to you at all about Sons when I knew that you were watching it. I didn't want to spoil anything accidentally. This is a crazy show, and so many outrageous things happen. People die in the most unbelievably insane ways. Lots of twists along the way. So I wanted to steer clear. I wanted to wait until you were all caught up. You're all caught up now, and I always love nerding out about TV with you, Rob, and I think that this is going to be a fun one for us to carve into.
Yes, and carve into or stab into, however we want to pierce it with a sharp object.
We're putting sharp objects into the show, however you want to do it.
Okay, so if this is the first time you're joining us, let me set up how the live show is going to work here tonight. We've got the chat room going on postshowrecaps.com. We've also got our hashtag PSRecaps live on Twitter. That Scott St. Pierre is monitoring all of that for us. And, of course, you can post questions on our YouTube channel at postshowrecaps.com/YouTube. And tonight, I think we're going to focus on all of the broad strokes and check in with what all of these characters are doing along the way. And I guess we got to start with our top story at this hour, where it seems this poor innocent young man who just happened to go to a party at the old porn studio gets fingered as a person who is committed a crime by Gemma.
He gets fingered and then he gets forked.
Oh no, he really did get forked over pretty good, this guy. And Gemma is really, I feel like, even more so than ever before, being set up as the person who is ultimately the villain of the series.
Oh yeah, she's a horrible person. Doesn't she say to Juice, does she say, I'm not a psychopath, or does she say to Juice, I'm a psychopath? I kind of think she said, I'm a psychopath. So she certainly seems to be. She's talking to the ghost of Tara at one point. So, man,
is that Gemma, what you thought she was? I thought she was rehearsing her lies for when Jax comes home.
No, I think that she's talking to Tara because she's saying, I believe Wendy. I don't think she's here to replace you or me. I think she'll be a good influence on the kids. And she's talking to no one in particular, and I'm pretty certain she's talking to who she believes is Tara. So Gemma is way out there right now. Things are not good for Miss Morrow Teller.
Do you think that this final season is going to be Gemma's downward spiral?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you and I I think you and I disagree about her ultimate fate right now. You seem to be on the side that Gemma is going to die. I don't think that Gemma is going to die. I think the worst possible fate for Gemma is that Jax is dead and the grandchildren are either dead or taken away from her forever, and she has to outlive all of the terrible things that have happened, and she has to be forced to see it all. The worst thing that you can do to Gemma is take her family away, and I think that is definitely where she's headed. This does not have a happy ending for Gemma, whether she's dead or alive.
So at what point do you think that Gemma came up with this plan that she was going to say that this young man who was at the party, I'm not even, did he have a name, that guy?
Not that I caught.
Yeah. And so she said that he was the guy that she saw after when Tara had been murdered. So at what point did she tell Jax that, hey, I saw a guy that looked like he was in the Chinese gang, and you need to invite everybody you know to this party, and then Gemma will ID this guy?
Yeah, I don't know when it happened. I mean, there's some clues along the way. There's a scene, there's the scene where Gemma and Juice are talking, and Juice is basically like, "Why are you helping me out?" And Gemma says, "Well, you bought me a story that got me out of my situation with Jax. You helped me buy my way out of the Tara thing, so I owe you one." So I wonder if she started concocting the plan as early as early as that night. I think it's implied that Jax is picked up and thrown into jail pretty quickly after Tara is killed. I think he's picked up for a parole violation for having the gun in the house. So Gemma and Jax aren't going to have too much FaceTime right away, so she has a little bit of time to come up with this story, but I think it's going to have to come up pretty quick, and it seems like the entire time that Jax is in the prison, he knows about this. He's operating under the assumption that the Chinese killed Tara. Everything that we've seen from Jax tonight has been operating under that assumption, and he is wrong, but he is going to go full tilt against the Triad.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, I didn't really know why Jax was in prison at the start of the episode. I thought that he was in prison because they thought that he killed Tara.
I think they pick him up on the technicality because certainly it looks like he could be the guy. He has reason to be the guy. He was, going to, as the DA puts it, do the right thing. He was going to be the guy who turned himself in to protect his family, but maybe he had a change of heart. Maybe he decided it would be easier to put a carving fork in the back of his wife's head instead and continue ruling the table. So it certainly looks like, based on everything out there, that Jax could be the guy who murdered Tara. So why not pick him up on a technicality? Why not throw him in jail for now while they're trying to figure everything out? But they can't figure out who did it. It certainly doesn't look like Jax. There's no smoking gun in the house, just a regular gun on the ground. So I think that they've ruled Jax out at this point.
I was very sad for Jax, especially that he didn't even get to go to Tara's funeral.
How horrible is it that Tara's gravestone is just like an ambiguous prison gravestone?
Well, it's only been 10 days since she died, so I think that's the kind of thing where the gravestone actually comes in way after the fact. Like, I don't
But
think
it just, all it has is like her name, her date, and her prison number. So, she was in legal trouble at the time, so is that just like, this is what happens to her? She's just going to be like marked off as a prisoner?
I think that it might just be like a temporary setup for Tara.
It seemed pretty bleak to me.
It does seem pretty bleak. Okay, so as far as Gemma goes, what is her next move? And Josh, it's very fun to be able to talk about this show and not have to worry about spoilers or anything like that. What happened in the Sons of Anarchy graphic novel or anything like that. So we really can just speculate.
There is the Sons of Anarchy graphic novel.
Is it based on the show?
It takes place in the universe of the show, but it's obviously it's not going to have
canon.
No, it's not going to have spoilers for what's ahead. Yeah, no, I have no idea what's going to come up next. I'm as in the dark as you are. It's very fun. This is a show that's constantly surprising you. This is what I said to you during the preview cast, that it's a hard show to fall behind on because something massive can happen just in the middle of the season, in the third episode of the season. Before the finale, something big will happen. Opie is killed in the third episode of season 5. You don't expect a major character to die in such a dramatic way at such a random time during the season. So things can heat up really quickly. Things can escalate really fast on Sons of Anarchy. And here we are in the final season, and I think it would be foolish to think that anybody is safe, and I think it would be foolish to think that things aren't just going to ramp up really fast and unexpectedly.
I'm sure Gemma feels like she's got everything figured out now. There's only one hanging Chad, There's only one person that knows what actually happened, and that would be Juice.
Yeah.
And Juice was probably the other one of the other bigger stories of the night, and he ends up getting busted by that old meddling Unser.
My man Unzer.
Yep, you could take Unser out of the police force, but you can't take the police out of Unser. And he is going and investigating in Wendy's apartment, and then he finds all of Juice's stuff, and Juice now has Unser tied up.
Yeah, so this is not great. It's a bad situation for Unser, who's my favorite character on the show. So I hope that I have felt very confident that Unser is going to be the last man standing when all is said and done, or at the very least, he is not going to meet such a horrible end. Maybe the cancer will finally get him one day, but I really don't think that he is going to meet Mr. Mayhem in a gruesome way. But maybe I'm wrong. He's certainly in a precarious situation with Juicy Boy right now.
Yes, in our season preview show, we talked about who is the one character that you think is going to be left standing at the end of this, and that was your pick, Unser.
I picked Unser, which may have been a mistake. We will find out. We will find out.
But I do sense, I feel like he will get out of this, because I feel like if he was going to die, Juice could have just killed him.
Yeah, they could drag it out a little bit, which would just be horrible, and I hope not. But I think they also set up that storyline in the making. Tyne Patterson, the DA, she comes to Unser and says, "We're going to have a new sheriff in Charming pretty soon. I'm going to link you two together. You can be a consultant. You can help her navigate everything with the Sons." I don't feel like that scene exists unless there's going to be some payoff there, and there's not going to be payoff there if Unser doesn't get out of this situation. So I'm hopeful for Unser. I don't think that this is the end for Unser, but what it is complicated. You're right. Juice is the guy that can bring Gemma's House of Cards tumbling down, but now Juice is connected to Unser, and Juice is connected to Wendy. If Wendy digs too deep, Wendy can find out what's going on with Gemma and Tara. So there are some potential thorns in Gemma's side here that she needs to keep an eye on, and I would definitely not put it past her to stick a fork in Wendy, in Juice, in Unser if she has to. So Gemma is a force to be reckoned with. I would not be surprised if Gemma ends up killing another main character before all is said and done.
Oh my God. Now, do you have any issue with Juice deciding to hide out in Wendy's apartment?
It's not with Juice. Juice is desperate. He just needs to lie low. He needs to do whatever he can. He doesn't have money. I think he says that he has some money stored away, but he can't get to it because the club is watching his storehouse. So it's going to be really hard for him to find a way to get to his supply. So he's really kind of stuck. He can't get out of Charming. It's very difficult for him. So I have no problem with Juice basically taking whatever route he has to taking whatever handouts he can from Gemma. But it's a sloppy plan on Gemma's part because, as we see, Wendy can just check out of rehab and come home and have no problem just running into Juice. So that was, I think, pretty sloppy on Gemma's part.
And Juice, we know, is a very healthy guy. He is also very organized.
Can I just say, great butt?
Whoa!
It's a solid posterior on Juicy.
Oh my God! Have we seen every member of the Sons of Anarchy's butt at one point?
I think with jeans on, sure. Naked butts. I think I would remember Bobby Elvis's butt.
Yeah, I think so. That's probably.
I think I would remember Bobby Elvis's butt, and I don't remember Bobby Elvis's butt, and I think that's okay.
Okay, that's fine. Now,
do you think that Happy's butt has smiley face tattoos on it to
I guess
represent
so.
all the people he's killed, all the butts he's kicked?
I think so. Every time he kicks somebody's butt, he puts a tattoo on his butt.
Yeah, I think so. That sounds about right. Yeah.
Okay. So, the Juice thing. How is this going to get resolved? Where is this going?
Well, it's interesting. Juice is in a pickle. He's in real trouble. The Sons want him dead. The Sons, if they find out where Juice is, it's going to be a quick trip to meet Mr. Mayhem. So Juice can't cross paths with the Suns for a little while unless Kurt Sutter is planning to just kill Juice off very quickly. And that seems, I feel like Juice is a longer term player this season. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff that you can do with Juice. I kind of think Juice is one of the unsung heroes of this show. His story got very interesting in season 4 with everything that happened with him and Eli Roosevelt, and everything about his race being something that could be used against him in the club, so he gets blackmailed and he gets into all of that trouble, and that has really haunted him for a long time. And I think that ever since that happened, basically, Juice has just been kind of a phenomenal character for this show. Again, he's another character. I don't see how he gets a happy ending, but maybe he gets a happy ending in the form of Happy killing Juice. I think that Juice probably does not survive Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, he's not going to survive, I don't think. He's been such a tortured character, and he needs to sort of eventually be put to rest. I do agree. I think he's going to die, but he needs to give that information because there's no way, unless Gemma confesses to Jax, there's no way that she's going to get found out as being the person who killed Tara.
Juice could tell Unser. In fact, I would not be surprised if Juice tells Unser. I wouldn't be surprised if Unser might suspect it already. Unser basically gave Gemma the reason to go to Tara's, right? Didn't Unser basically, incorrectly play the game of telephone and said, Jax is going to jail, I don't know what's going on, Gem. And Gemma goes over to Jax and Tara's house and stabs Tara in the back of the head with a fork. So there's got to be some lingering suspicion in Unser's mind, unless he has blinders on because he loves Gem, which is possible. But I feel like Unser, we saw it tonight. He sussed out that somebody was staying with Wendy. He sussed out that something was amiss in Wendy's house. He's a good cop. He was a corrupt cop, and he's been out of the game for a while, but he's good at what he does. So I could see Unser playing into this in a big way, and I think that would go a long way toward his story. He obviously feels terrible about what happened to Tara. He was very close to Tara. I could see Unser factoring into this in a big way. So Juice could die and Unser could carry the torch.
Oh my God.
Or you could carry the carving fork.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Unser, I think it's going to be interesting what happens with him because eventually Wendy's going to come home, and right because Gemma has had Wendy come to babysit, and then
Wendy is staying with Gemma.
Oh, she's just completely.
She's living with Gemma right now. She says to Gemma, "Well, I'm going to be coming to stay with you since you let Juice live in my apartment." And Gemma comes over and says to Juice, "The good news is you get to stay here for a little while. You don't have to leave tonight." And then Wendy comes over a little while later and says, "I brought you some fruit and shit," is what she says. And so when she says that, she says, "I'm going to live with Gemma." So Wendy is not necessarily coming back anytime soon. Unser could be missing for a little while, and he could be at Casa del Wendy for a little while.
So what's the end game for Juice with Unser? I mean, is he gonna torture him? Why tie up Unser?
Because he can't let him leave.
Yes.
He can't let him leave, and he probably doesn't want to kill him because Juice is not the. I mean, they're all bad people. Let's just say that up front. All of the Suns are bad people, but I think Juice is not the worst of the bunch, and we've seen Juice have some semblance of a conscience here and there. I realize now I'm saying this about the guy who just shot a police officer in the back in cold blood, no less than one episode earlier than this. But I think that Juice has something of a conscience. He's close to Unser. All of the Suns are close to Unser. Unser's been a good friend of the club. Juice is torn. He loves the club. He understands that his days with them are probably numbered, and certainly that they are out for his blood right now. But I think for him, he really needs to think this through. I don't think that killing Unser is an easy decision, but he can't let him leave either. So he's probably figuring out what the F he has to do here.
To you, did Juice's decision to do what he did at the end of the last season make sense to you to help Gemma get into hiding?
No, I don't really understand it, to be honest with you. He's already in so much trouble with Jax. I don't know why he feels like helping, maybe he feels like helping Gemma out is helping Jax out, and maybe it's something he's going to regret after the fact. But this isn't good. There was really no good reason for him to do what he did. I think he can go and tell Jax, your mom killed Tara. I was there. I killed Eli. But what does Jax do with that information? Does that smooth things over between Jax and Juice? I don't think so. I think it probably makes things worse.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see how this helps Juice's cause at all. I don't know why he did what he did.
Yeah. I think that might be a case of, hey, Jax, I have something to tell you. Don't shoot the messenger.
Right.
Literally, do not shoot the messenger, but I have some news to tell you.
Yeah.
Your mom killed your wife.
Yeah, and I saw it and helped.
He didn't help. He helped her not
He
go
helped,
to...
he helped cover it up. He
Yes.
helped cover it up, and in so doing, in the cover-up, he has helped the Suns go to war with the wrong people. That's really one of the big stories of the night that we should talk about, is the Suns are about to go to war for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of that happens on Sons of Anarchy where people get killed by accident, and then there's all of these repercussions that happen because somebody killed somebody else by accident because of a lie. Like
Right.
Going back to when Tig ran over Pope's daughter with the car because they told them that the Niners came and shot Clay when it was really Opie.
Right, and then Pope turns around and burns Tig's daughter alive right in front of Tig. So yeah, this kind of blowback happens frequently on Sons.
And I'm pretty sure does Tig know that was a lie?
I think at this point he does.
Okay.
I'm not positive on that. I'm a little rusty as far as that goes, but I feel like rarely does Jax get it wrong. Obviously he didn't know the extent of Clay's involvement in the death of Jax's father, in the death of JT, until the end of season 4. And after that, the BS is out of the way. He sees Clay for who he is. He knows what's going on there, so he comes after Clay. He knows what he has to do there. I feel like Jax is typically a pretty brilliant tactician. Maybe not the greatest guy in the world. I'm not really giving a thumbs up for the time that he injected his drug addict ex-wife, his recovering drug addict ex-wife, filled with drugs just to scare her away.
That happened one time.
It was one time too many. It was bad. It was very bad. Jax is a bad guy. You can relate to him on certain levels, but he's a bad guy fundamentally. Just not a great guy, but he's a genius strategist. I think his plans tend to be really elaborate, and they usually work. This time, we, the audience, know that he is going all in against an army that he has really no business fighting, because he is going against them for the wrong reasons. He is going to wage war on the Triad and, by extension, the Mayans, because he believes the Triad killed Tara, and that's all because of Gemma's lie. And Juice is assisting in that, unknowingly, by helping Gemma out here. So it's very convoluted. It's a really complicated web that's going on right now. But basically, everybody is lying or everybody is wrong, and everybody is going to pay for it. It's an ugly situation.
Will Jax find out this season that Gemma was the one that was the brains behind killing John Teller?
Yeah, I think he has to. That has to come out.
And
that
how?
How, I'm not sure. Unser, I believe, knows. I think Unser was part of that whole deal, right? I think that he was part of the cover-up. I think he covers up the traffic report, I think, of what Clay and Gemma did to JT. So I think Unser knows. Unser could tell Jax, and if Unser finds,
does he know that Gemma? I know that he was involved in the cover-up, but does he know that Gemma was involved in
I think he does.
Planning?
I think he does. I don't know if he knows that she was top dog, but I think he knows that she was involved in it. And certainly if Unser finds out that Gemma killed Tara, Unser is incentivized to come to Jax and say, Jax, your mother killed your father and your wife. I think that Unser could blow the whole thing up.
Forgive me if I'm speaking ill of the great Unser. But does anybody notice a pattern that Unser just seems to just be hanging out with all of the women of Charming? Like, all of the guys go out and do their thing, and then here comes Unser like hey, Gemma, what are you doing today? Hey, Tara, can I hang out with you for a little bit? Wendy, can I drive you around? Is it possible that Unser is just kind of a perv and just is hanging out with all the women in Charming?
He's got good taste. That's part of the reason why I love the guy.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not hanging out at Diosa all day.
Yeah.
Hey, Nero, let me know if you need anything. I'll be right here.
I could help you out. You always seem to have Chucky helping you. I've got all my fingers. You could use a guy like me. I'm an old man. I'm retired. I'm bored. I need something to do.
I got nothing to do all day.
I'm smoking pot. I'm in my RV. I could really be of assistance here.
I'm baked right now. So
Yes, he is.
yeah, so I don't know about Unser. He might just be, maybe he's just lecherous.
How often is Unser stoned? All the time or almost all the time?
Got to think all the time.
So is he stoned right now with Juice right now in Juice's captivity?
Well, Juice runs a head shop.
That's right. So do you think that Unser might be able to buy his way out of this? He'd be like, hey, Juicy, I got some of that good herb. We could talk about this. And Juice, who's been like locked away in Wendy's for a while, probably hasn't had access to the ganj for a while.
Okay, so you think Unser in a role reversal could be selling pot to Juice?
Or they could just, have like a peace pipe session and talk this out.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how Unser's getting out of this one. The only thing that I could think of is that maybe when Gemma is going to swing by, then she's going to say, Juice, what are you doing? You got Unser tied up.
Do you think that if Gemma finds out that, like, let's say she finds out that Unser is tied up at Juice's at Wendy's house under Juice's hostage situation?
Yeah.
Do you think if Unser were to find out what Gemma did to Tara, is it past Gemma to kill Unser? Is that a bridge too far for her?
I mean, no, there is no bridge too far for Gemma, other than killing
Jax
Thomas
and
and Abel and maybe Jax.
No, there's no way she would kill Jax.
I don't know.
There's
I
no
don't know.
chance. I think that's the line.
You're right.
Jax,
That's probably the line, but I'm not going to say definitely ever with Gemma.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. You never know.
If it came down to it, if it was her or Jax.
I think that's the one situation where she says, "All right, stick a fork in me. I'm done."
Yeah, there you go. I don't know. I think if Jax comes at her with a gun, I don't think that she would be beyond shooting him.
I think she's beyond shooting him. She's certainly not beyond trying to talk her way out of it. I don't think that she could live with herself. I don't think that she cares about herself that much. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right.
We'll see. Maybe you just have too high of an opinion of Gemma.
I love you, Gem. I don't have a very high opinion of Gem.
Okay, so let's say she comes into the house and Juice is there and Unser is tied up. Does she say like, Juice, come on, you gotta let Unser go? Or does she say, Unser, you had to be sticking your nose where it didn't belong?
Yeah, I think that this is danger territory. I think that this secret is so important to keep on lockdown that, frankly, she's taking a risk by leaving Juice alive. So I think the wider this net gets, the more Gemma's incentivized to cut out everybody who knows. So if she finds out that Juice has Unser, I'm not confident that she's going to be bargaining for Unser's safety here.
Well, that's the other thing that I felt like was a little odd. That don't you think Gemma should have just had Juice killed? Now, I know this is a problem because usually she has the sons to do all this sort of dirty work for her. But I kind of feel like killing Juice is a big part of this plan here.
I'm surprised at how much she's helping him. She says, you helped me out, so I'm helping you out. I mean, she must really believe that unless she has some elaborate plan for how she's going to get rid of Juice, but you think by now she would have put that into motion. So she must genuinely be looking out for Juice right now, which seems out of character with Gemma. I feel like, given everything that's happened and given the stakes involved, I think it behooves Gemma to kill Juice.
Yeah, I agree. And if anything, you would think that we could have like a scenario that's sort of a redux of the first episode of Sons of Anarchy, where Wendy tried to, or Wendy, started doing the heroin, and Gemma tried to get her back on it after Juice's near suicide attempt last season. You would think she'd be like feeding him like OxyContin, like Pez.
Yeah, like keeping him drugged up.
Yeah, like, oh, this will make you feel better, Gem or Juice. There you go.
Well, it looks like she's feeding him dog food, so that might be just as bad.
Okay, well, whatever he's doing, it's working. The guy still looks great.
He's cut.
Yeah. He's
Great butt. Great butt.
Great butt. All right, let's talk about, besides Gemma and Juice, some of the other characters and storylines of what's going on. Josh, can you give us a sense of what is going on with the we are partnered up with the I want to make sure I have everything right. What is the name of the other gang that the
Grim Bastards?
The Grim Bastards.
Yeah.
And so we are working with them because one of the Grim Bastards was assassinated.
So yeah, well, the Sons and the Grim Bastards have always had at least like a decent working relationship, if not an outright alliance. It's been tested every once in a while. I think I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think that the Grim Bastards were protecting somebody that the Sons wanted dead at one point in time, and the Sons went ahead and killed the guy anyway, and basically told the Grim Bastards, "You got to let this go, and we got to be cool." I think there was some I think that's like season 5.
Yes.
But anyway, they've had a relationship for a good little while. Right now, Jax, we see that Jax is forging alliances. This is what he's doing in prison with Marilyn Manson's character. Marilyn Manson is a leader in the Aryan Brotherhood. The Sons have had a shaky relationship with the Aryans at the very best. They've had some sort of shaky truce with Darby every now and then, but Darby's a bit of a joke, according to Marilyn Manson. I would agree with that. And they talked about Zobel, who we haven't seen since season 2, who was like the real jerkwad white supremacist who was basically behind Gemma getting raped back in season 2, and that guy was a monster, and Marilyn Manson knows that guy almost destroyed us. So Jax has basically smoothed things over with the Aryan Brotherhood because he needs a guy like that. He needs those people on his side. He needs the Grim Bastards. He needs everybody he can possibly get because he knows that war is coming. And even though it looks like he's ramping things down when he has that sit-down with the Triads and the Mayans, he's actually going to be ramping things up, as evidenced by the fact that he just stuck a fork in the back of the head of a member of the Triad. So with the Grim Bastards, I think it's really that the Sons and the Bastards just need to really kind of be working together and be helping each other out and being really in each other's good graces. So the Bastards have some problems going on. One of their members got killed. I think a bunch of others are hospitalized and not doing well. T.O., the leader of the Bastards, basically says my table is thinning. I'm losing control of my club. I can't lose control. And Jack says, "We're going to help you out. We're going to help you out." So that's like the C plot going on right now, is that the Sons, that Sam Crow is helping the Bastards try and track down the guys responsible for killing the members of the Grim Bastards. And I guess that leads us to like this orgy of reverends and pastors.
Yeah, that was that just a red herring, or do you think that those guys are somehow involved?
My takeaway from it, and I was a little bit confused, but I think I'm right. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, please. Is that I think that they got their signals crossed. I think that they were looking for a blue car. They found a blue car. I think they were desperate. They go into the motel and they just like find this like really shisty situation with the reverend and the pastors, and they kill the wrong people. That was my take on it. And it's basically like, oh well, bury these bodies because we just killed the wrong people, and now we gotta keep looking for the guys who killed the Grim Bastards.
There's a bit of a human centipede going on in there, right?
A little bit. Gives new meaning to Holy Trinity.
And so they were all reverends? Well, I really was very confused about it, and I'm typically confused, but I was especially confused about that. And so they were all reverends, and you feel like they are connected?
I don't think they're connected. I don't. I think that this is unconnected from everything. Maybe I'm wrong. My sense was that they were unconnected, that they were not the people responsible for killing the Bastards, and I think that T.O. makes that fairly clear. He's like, "I'm sorry, I led you guys here," and Jack's like, whatever. We kill people all the time by mistake. It's fine. So I think it was just like they killed the wrong guys. Not to say that that won't blow back on them, because this stuff usually does blow back in some way, but I don't think that this was I think this was unconnected.
Is it weird that we're dealing with something that sort of happened off camera of these guys are mad about a death that happened off camera and I mean would we be more invested in it had we seen it play out?
Sometimes this show, I think, is a little too complicated for its own good, a little too cute. There's so much going on right now anyway, with the Suns and the Mayans and the Triad, and it's a lot to keep track of. The IRA, how are they still involved? Where is August Marks? There's a lot of players that you need to keep track of on Sons of Anarchy, more than maybe you would think when you first started watching the show. It's gotten really complicated. There's a lot to watch out for and to remember, lots of details. And I feel like this is just like, I don't know. I feel like there are other storylines that they could be focusing on. This seems kind of extraneous to me.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
A storyline like this is the reason why the season premiere of Sons of Anarchy went almost 2.5 hours. So it's a long time.
I will say that the part where they went to the guy's house in the wheelchair was pretty good.
That was funny. We haven't been able to talk much at length about the show. What do you think about those types of scenes? Do you like it when there's these kind of goofy chase scenes with the Suns?
Where they're like a car chase?
Yeah, they always play kind of I feel like the goofy rock music,
yes.
And then some hilarious motorcycle hijinks ensue where they'll tie a guy to chains and drag them along the streets, or they always do some motorcycle hijinks.
Yeah, it's
like they're Roadrunner scenes.
Yeah, sort of like Smokey and the Bandit type stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like I personally am not a big fan of those scenes, and the music that they choose often will take me out of it because it's they get in the car come on, let's go get that guy, and it's and the music is on. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I'm like, I know nobody's gonna die because the music does not support that.
At least no one important will die.
Yeah, nobody important will die. I find in Sons of Anarchy that if there's more than 3 people in a scene, you probably could just not pay that much attention to it. And the scenes where it's just 2 people, you probably want to pay a lot of attention to it. So sometimes where we're in a big group of people and it's talking about all of the different politics and all that stuff, I feel like that's not as much fun as when there's just 2 characters and secrets and all that sort of character stuff.
Well, speaking of music, what did you think of the cover of Bohemian Rhapsody taking us out of the episode at the end?
Not as much fun as Wayne's World, though, right?
Not as much fun as Wayne's World.
Oh, my God. Mama just killed a man. Oh, my God.
Truer words, man.
Yes. Very, very, very good. And
I like that stuff. I enjoy the opening and closing music montages this show tends to do. It can go on for a while and it contributes to the long run times of the episodes. I actually think it's kind of part of the art of Sons of Anarchy. I enjoy these scenes.
No, they're good. I think Sons of Anarchy, top 3 montage shows of all time.
It's a great montage show.
Yeah.
What are the other 2?
Lost did some great montages.
Yes. I don't like Lost, though, so let's talk about another show.
I'm trying to think of another show that really nailed it on the
24's episode closing split screens.
No, that's not a montage. They don't do montages. I'd have to really get out the pen and paper to figure out the montages.
Got it.
I think Mad Men does some good montages.
Breaking Bad had great montages.
Yeah, lots of good montages on a lot of different shows.
Yeah, we're gonna need a montage.
Yeah. And no, I really did like the Bohemian Rhapsody cover. It was very well done. I mean, they really found a way to make Scaramouche be something that was taken seriously.
Yeah, they really did the Fandango tonight.
Yeah, very, very good. Very, very good.
Very, very frightening.
Yes, Thunderbolts and Lightning indeed. Okay, so let's just check in with a couple of the other stories. Let's check in with Nero.
Nero, yeah.
Okay, of course, he is now part of the Mayans chapter. And again, I don't know if the timeline exactly works. Uh, we find out from Patterson that it's been 10 days since Tara was killed, correct?
Yes.
But that chapter of the Mayans that they wanted to make in what part of town is that?
They're in Stockton, right?
Stockton. Yeah, they've already got that up and running. They've already got jackets for Stockton Mayans. They were ready to go.
They're ready to go. They've moved in.
Yeah. So Stockton Mayans are a thing.
So that was refresh my memory, Rob. That was an end of season 6 deal, right? That
Yes.
Marcus Alvarez and the guys they're moving in, and why are they moving into Stockton? Why are they moving in on that territory?
I got the sense that they were just trying to be jerks to Jax because
They
they
don't
were.
like that August Marks has the guns.
Yeah, they didn't
They don't like
they
that. They don't like that it's August Marks and the only guy left of the IRA.
yeah, they didn't appreciate that. So they wanted to sort of expand into Stockton.
You love Marcus Alvarez.
I think he's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, you would be bros with Marcus Alvarez.
Yeah. I think he's got like sort of like an Idris Elba thing going on.
He's the Mexican Idris Elba.
Oh, Alvarez. I think you're talking about. I think you're talking about
August Marks.
August Marks. I'm
Oh
sorry
well,
about
he's
that.
amazing.
Yes, he's
But I would
very
also maintain that Alvarez could be the Mexican Idris Elba.
good. He could be. No, I'm not a big Alvarez fan.
I
I've
know.
never I'm never a fan of the Mayans and what they're up to.
The Mayans, I think then you'll be okay because I bet the Mayans all get wiped out.
Yeah, I think they will. I do think that's where this season is going. But I don't like how they brought Nero into the fold. I'd like to see. I wish Nero was not hanging out with the Mayans.
I am worried for Nero.
Yeah.
I am very worried for Nero. This is a guy who is trying really hard to do the right thing, and I think he is the character that means a lot to Jax. You know, even if they don't always see eye to eye, and certainly right now, Jax and Nero aren't seeing eye to eye because Nero is spending a lot of time with the Mayans. Nero means a lot to Gemma, and I feel like Nero can be a casualty of war. That's this war that is being built on Gemma's lies that are fueling Jax's vengeance, and I think that Nero could get caught up in that, and that could be a real big catalyst for any conflict that's going to come between Jax and Gemma. And I'd be very interested to see Gemma's reaction to a Nero death and to see what maybe her participation level is in a Nero death. We've certainly seen lovers turn against each other on this show before, very famously when June Stahl kills her partner in more ways than one, her partner at the ATF and her partner in the bedroom, and she shoots her just to get ahead in life, just to further her cover story, while she's sussing out this deal with the Suns. I could see something similar happening with Gemma and Nero, and that would be pretty extreme, but I could see it. Either way, I'm very worried about Nero. I don't think it ends well for him.
Yeah, Nero is an interesting wild card because I feel like he is the one person in the show that could somewhat redeem Gemma. Like, I feel like their scenes together are still, like, somewhat positive for Gemma, and I feel like that's the only thing she's got left.
And Nero knows that Gemma. What does he know about Gemma? He knows that Gemma had a role to play in the JT thing, right?
Yes.
If Nero finds out about Gemma killing Tara, especially when Nero is, in bed with the Mayans and by extension in bed with the Triad, I feel like that's not going to hold well. I mean, Nero has walked away from Gemma for lesser reasons than that. So I think if he is able to find out about what Gemma did to Tara, I don't see that being something that he can hang on to. I think that is a deal breaker, and that could either end in his death or it could end in him bringing the news to Jax, and who knows how it could work out.
But Nero still has a beef with Jax over that he ordered Juice to kill Dave Navarro's wife at the beginning of season 6.
Right, he's not happy about that. That was a big revelation at the end of season 6, and that's why Jax is so mad at Juice, right? Because Juice confessed that.
That was a big problem. Yeah.
That's a big problem. And is that a big enough problem that Jax wants Juice dead, or is Juice blowing it out of proportion?
Well, Juice has just been messed up all the way back from season 4, from when Jax thought he vouched for that Juice was going to be okay after he tried to hang himself, and then he's been like sort of like borderline suicidal and messed up since then. And everybody's like, "Is Juice okay? Is Juice okay?" And then after the whole thing with Diosa, where he's trying to taking all the pills and whatnot, they just feel like he's unstable.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how Nero plays into things going forward.
All right, let's get into some of your questions here tonight, talking about the premiere of Season 7 of Sons of Anarchy. And let's get it started with Jason Burning, who says, did you notice Bobby get a little choked up when Jax brought up JT? Such great acting.
Yeah, that's at the table when Jax is basically talking about, I never expected to get back here. I never expected to sit at the head of the table again. And Jax is saying, I tried to get my family out of here. I tried to get us out of guns, but that's a false pardon. And this is what my dad did. And he lost everything. He lost his life. He lost his patch. And yeah, Bobby's getting a little bit choked up. It's interesting to try and figure out where Bobby stands on everything, because he has not always seen eye to eye with Jax. And even more than that scene, I'm really interested in the final scene of the episode with Jax killing the Triad soldier who he believes killed Tara. I am really fascinated by all of the club members who are there. There's Chibs, there's Tig, there's Happy, and those are guys that you expect to see in this situation, and frankly, people you would expect to kind of relish the violence given the circumstances. Bobby never struck me as that kind of guy, and Bobby's in that room. So, Bobby's always sort of been the moral compass of Sam Crow, and to see that he is really all in on Jax's plans right now, I wonder how long that's going to hold.
Well, there was that one scene that we're talking about where Jax sat at the table, and he said, basically, I need to know everybody here is all in.
Yeah, and Chib speaks for everybody and says, we're with you, we love you, we trust you. What do you need us to do? And Bobby doesn't say anything. Maybe Chibs is speaking, he's over speaking. Who knows?
Yeah, I think we're probably too late in the run for Bobby to have cold feet again about the Suns. I feel like we sort of went through that, and then he came back into the fold last season. And now I feel like with only 12 episodes left to go, I don't think we have time for another Bobby sort of questioning the club.
Well, less about cold feet and more about Bobby maybe trying to pull Jax back just a little bit, because what Jax just did was very extreme.
It was extreme, but I feel like it was warranted.
It was a little over the line, maybe.
Yeah. We haven't talked about Patterson yet in this show tonight. I feel like Patterson is definitely... I find her to not be a villain in the show. I mean, she's definitely nothing like a Stall or anything like that, but I felt like at times that she was villainous in Season 6, but I felt like she was very positive so far in Season 7.
There are no good people on Sons of Anarchy. There are bad people and people with shades of gray. I don't think that there's really any one truly lawful good character. And so, Tyne Patterson has taken to tactics that seem a little shady. She was very pushy with Tara, really trying to get her to do the right thing, and, using potentially her power as an attorney to influence her decision making. So she's definitely been adversarial on the show towards the Suns. But I feel more comfortable about giving her sense of morality and justice a pass, certainly over June Stahl. Certainly over a guy like Lincoln Potter back from Season 4, the AUSA, who I would love to see back on the show, by the way.
Yeah.
He's a great character. I feel like he's got unfinished business. But I think Tyne Patterson really wants to do the right thing here. She wants Jax to do the right thing, and it's going to take a lot more than just one sob story to get him to do it. So I think she's got her work cut out for her, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Josh, I want to come up with an award for the most disturbing thing of the week each week on Sons of Anarchy. Do you have a good name for branding that?
That's a good question. You've read my mind, though. I definitely want to do some sort of acknowledgement of like the MVP for most nasty thing. Something with mayhem.
All right, why don't we leave it open-ended and let people tell us in the comments and on Twitter what
Yeah,
they
totally.
suggest for it. So what are the nominees for this week?
I think the nominees are. I think it would be the opening scene where Jax is just totally wailing on this guy in prison. He carves something into his stomach. What did he carve into this guy's stomach?
Swastika.
It was a swastika, right? So he carves a swastika into the guy's stomach and then removes his teeth. That was pretty messed up.
Yes.
That was pretty big. And then maybe the Holy Trinity, the pastors,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the Reverend.
Yeah,
That was pretty nasty, and them getting killed. You know, death-wise, that wasn't the most extreme, but that was a pretty gross scene. And then the ending was disgusting.
Can I make another nominee?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, so how about when the Sons show up at the guy in the wheelchair's house, and Tig and the guy have an exchange, and the guy is talking about how his you-know-what smells like Tig's mom's butt, and then Tig came back that he had already been having relations with his own mom's butt.
He said that his mom used to refer to him as Little Alex Enema. I think was what he said. Yeah, that's gross. That's gross. I think that's a different award. I think that's like the grossest like comment. Most offensive comment, I think, could be another one, and I think maybe the Alex Enema is on the list for that award. I think for the most violent and disgusting thing on the show, I think probably the ending. I think Jax slicing this guy open numerous times and then literally rubbing salt in the wounds to just make it as painful as humanly possible, and you get the sense that they're there for a while. Before he finally puts the carving fork in there. And there's the other thing that's, aside from the violence, which speaks for itself in that scene, there's something like weirdly sensual about the way that Jax is doing it. Like he's like kind of like connecting with Tara in a way. The way that like he like thumbs the spot on the Triad's head where Tara had been stabbed almost lovingly is really haunting and weird and creepy. So I think that the final scene of the episode, I think the Bohemian Rhapsody, I think that's gonna do it.
Was that the name of the episode?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, there you go. All right, so help us come up with the name for our most outrageous Sons of Anarchy moment of the week.
Yes, come up with something elegant, guys.
Yes. In addition to the live stuff, you can also send us your email feedback all week long. You could send that to feedback@postshowrecaps.com, or also you could send us on our website on the Contact Us page at the bottom. All right. So, Josh, next Tuesday night, we'll be back live talking about Sons of Anarchy. Do we have a hashtag for tonight's show?
Ooh, I want to say like juicy butt, but I don't think anyone's going to hashtag that. I get the sense that no one's going to hashtag juicy butt.
I don't think you want to. I think that's more of an Instagram hashtag.
Right, but you want to be careful with that.
Okay. Let's say, what do you got? Anything with the fork? Anything with Unser?
Oh man.
Free Unser?
Free Unser. Hashtag free Unser. Don't let my pick to survive the season die in the second episode. I'm happy to be wrong if I'm wrong. I just don't want to be wrong this quickly.
I think it'll be okay for a little bit. Okay. All right. So free Unser, and we will be back next Tuesday night at whenever the episode ends, around 11 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be back with you live on Post Show Recaps, and make sure you subscribe. It's a new podcast feed, so we appreciate it when you subscribe and leave us comments as well. helps more and more people find the iTunes feed. You can get that at postshowrecaps.com/Suns iTunes. Have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to you again soon.